By the time MMPR got to Season 3, the show writers started running out of steam. You could see it. Season 3 really didn't use a lot of the monsters from Kaku Rangers, which is weird. They go out of their way to shoehorn in the suits. You'd think they'd use more of them. I guess they were focusing so much on getting to Zeo, they just didn't really try. Even though the season was all over the place, I still liked a lot of the monsters.
Marvel the Meaning.
Another good Rocky-focused episode, the teacher plays the student while Rocky plays the teacher. It was cool that they actually had someone new play a teacher instead of Kaplan or Appleby. The monster was different compared to others, where normally when you kill a monster, the spell ends, but with him, the Rangers would have been stuck as liquid beakers. It was still kind of confusing because they blow up Marvo and he reverts back to Wilton, but the beaker spell doesn't stop. The important thing was that Rocky got to show his ability to lead. That's the reason why he was picked as Red Ranger. I still think the leader role should have been returned to him in this episode. Would have anyone cared if Tommy got demoted? White Ranger wasn't special anymore after Season 2.
Sea Monster.
I always thought this one was weird. In some ways it shares the same issue with Lord Zed, where you can see his muscle layer under the skin. On top of it, Sea Monster flashed people. But Paris didn't complain about him. Everyone went up in arms with Zed's look last season. Here, nah. Shows how popularity controls people's reactions. At this time, MMPR wasn't the TV show monster it was, so parents stopped paying attention to what their kids watched. And we got introduced to the Shogun Megazord, which is always going to throw you when US fans watched Kaku Ranger since Muteki Shogun was first.
Krabby Cabby.
Had to like this one. It's Kim's last standalone episode. The monster was crazy, and it had the bonus of Bulk and Skull joining in on the fun. This episode was a throwback to Kim's earlier focused episode Foul Play in the Sky, which also had Bulk and Skull in it. This is another time where Kim should have just morphed. What was Bulk and Skull going to really do? At this point, they stopped caring about finding out who the Power Rangers were. And second, Kim could just deny it. After all the screw-ups they did in Season 2, who'd believe them? Another option would have been what they did with Rocky, Aisha, and Adam. Tell them and make them honorary Rangers so they could help out.
Ravenider.
Now this was a good take on a Pudgy Pig style episode. Ravenider went inside Tommy, so he kept on eating stuff. It was also a nice simple Tommy focused episode, although I always kept thinking Ravenider acted like a baby bird and ate all the chewed up food that went into Tommy. His design was kind of stupid. He doesn't have any eyes. How does he see? He'd be great if he teamed up in that Turbo episode with the giant pizza.
Sawatzky.
I liked his design. He's a weird mismatch of stuff. A hat made from buildings, a slot machine for his torso, and a magnet on one arm. The magnet was strong enough to steal the weapons. It would have been interesting if they could have merged them into his body or used the destroyed power coins as ammo just to taunt the Rangers. I always pictured Slotsky and Metropolis from Ninja Storm being cousins.
Bratboy.
Bratboy is one of the few monsters I liked from the Alien Ranger portion of Season 3. It was mainly because of young Bulk. I really liked the kid actors, especially Bulk, so it made the monster fun. It was a good way to get around the footage issues. I really never liked the Alien Ranger arc or how they made the Rangers kids again, but the kid actors did what they could. Rita and Zed were stupid to use a human. You'd think Rita would have never used kids or teens after that screw up with those punk guys in Green No More.
Blue Clobber.
The high point of the metallic armor two-parter is the monster. He didn't do a lot, but he survived a lot of a pounding, especially going against a new power-up. I like the monster more than the metallic armor. That power-up was just so stupid and a freaking waste of time. Why would you introduce a power-up so late in the season when you know you're going to change the cast into kids and not to be able to morph? That's just as bad when they introduced the shark cycles and never freaking used them. He's also one of the few monsters that survived the finisher from a Megazord. The Rangers barely beat him with their new armor. They failed to finish him off with the Ninja Mega Falcon Sword. It took a pissed off Ninja to get rid of him. Rita and Zed must have really felt embarrassed in front of Master Vile.
Facestealer.
This monster's powers were really creepy. It can steal anyone's face off their body. He was more visceral in Kaku Ranger. I don't get why he had a pumpkin mask. I'm guessing it had to do with the myth Kaku Ranger was basing him on. Most of the Kaku Ranger monsters were based off Japanese myths. For example, Slotsky was based off the spirit of money. That's why he has a slot machine for a chest. Every time I watch this episode, I also think about the Doctor Who episode that had the magpie woman in the TV that stole faces for food. They both share very similar plots.
Hatemaster.
Of course I'm gonna like this guy. He makes the Rangers argue with themselves. The thing the show is always missing, no matter how nice people are or how good a mentor Zordon is, no one is gonna agree with everything. Like when Tommy joined the team in season 1, everyone was nice and happy. No one cared that Zordon could have been killed or that the virus could have erased Alpha's mind. Nothing? Tommy, your spells are broken, come join us. They didn't even give Tommy a choice to quit. If I were him, I'd be grateful that they broke the spell, but I'd walk. I didn't sign up for this nonsense. Why would I want to join the team? So I can be targeted by Rita? None of these feelings ever get brought up.
Artismal.
I picked this guy for my #1 monster because he stemmed from Kim's nightmare about her mother's fiance. Things that are really ever covered in kids shows. Acknowledging marriages can fall apart for any reason, then the parents marrying other people. So Kim felt weird that she had a stepfather and didn't know how to cope. So it's okay for the Rangers to have family issues, but not issues with the team. Season 3 was pretty hard to pick monsters from. No one's really that memorable. Another thing, I wasn't sure if I should have included Kat as a monster. She started out as a bad character and transformed into various things throughout Season 3. I mean, Anton Mercer was a monster, Tenaya 7 was a monster, even now Heckle and Dino Supercharge is a monster. What are your guys' favorites from Season 3? Next week will be my hated Season 3 monster list.